Mondays is brought to you by the Salvation Army Thrift Stores. Find all the brand names you love at the Salvation Army Fall Fashion Savings Event, where all clothing is 50% off on August 9th and 10th. Participating locations only. See store for details. Some restrictions apply. Melody Hobson and Money Monday. She's president of Ariel Investments, a Chicago-based money management firm that serves individual investors and retirement plans through its no-load mutual funds and separate accounts. Additionally, she's a regular financial contributor and analyst for CBS News and CBS.com. You can find her on Twitter and Instagram at Melody Hobson. Money Mondays. Melody, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. The trade war continues.
Yes. This is not good news. So last Thursday, we got news that President Trump actually took to Twitter, as he does, to announce that he intends to impose a 10% tariff on the remaining $300 billion in Chinese imports that have been spared in the trade battle so far. So this goes into effect supposedly on September 1st. And when it does, he will then have imposed tariffs on all goods the U.S. imports from China into our country. Wow. But the next round, this round that he's talking about, is different.
Okay, so the average American, how much is this going to cost the average American right now?
So according to the New York Federal Reserve, the previous rounds of tariffs are already costing the typical U.S. household more than $1,200 a year. That's the estimate. This next round, we don't have a number, but it's going to hit a wide range of consumer goods. Before, the previous rounds of tariffs targeted industrial goods and raw materials that were used to manufacture final products. This round targets the final product. So think about it. 42% of clothes, 70% of all shoes, and 85% of toys sold in the United States are made in China. So consumers on those products are going to feel the pinch.
I heard that affects the iPhone as well.
Yes, it does affect the iPhone, and there's been a lot of conversation about that as well because a number of the components of the iPhone are manufactured in China. So that's one of many
There's so
things
many
now.
items, right?
Right. You're talking mostly everything when you think about just basic consumer goods. Now, businesses are going to be hit too, from manufacturers to retailers, because now the tariffs are rising. The rising prices not only affect supplies, but it means higher costs for the customer, which means they could see fewer sales. If they pass these costs on, customers may buy less. If they don't pass the costs on, their profits are going to get hit. So businesses will get hit, consumers will get hit. This has escalated from what I've heard Warren Buffett called a trade skirmish to we're really getting to trade war status now.
So that means I got to pay more for my fortune out of a cookie?
You got to pay more for a lot of things. If, again, we still have another few weeks, but if this all comes down the way as suggested in the tweet on Thursday, on September 1st, we're looking at, everything being more expensive, which is not good news for Americans. Now, it's interesting. The one thing you have seen is that the labor market, despite all of this trade talk, which hasn't gone so well, it's held up very well. And the jobs numbers that came out on Friday said the economy added 164,000 jobs in July. That's a really good number, and it keeps our unemployment rate below 4% nationally, higher still for African Americans, but under 4% nationally. And so that is surprising. I'm not sure how much longer that can keep going when we start to see this added pressure from these new tariffs.
You said it won't start until September 1st.
September 1st.
Yeah, but this is already the 5th of August. Do you think that it will go through, just from your professional
So the markets
opinion?
right now around the world basically are, were affected today. We saw the markets around the world close down. The U.S. stock market already opening week. So, the all signs are as the market is starting to price this in because they think this will be a reality.
And so you don't think that it'll come down to the 11th hour or the 23rd hour?
I mean, we have the most unpredictable president, so anything's possible. Yeah. And this also does affect the Chinese economy. No, they play long ball. Right. They may be able to be willing to wait this out, but it definitely does have effect. I'm just back from China. I was there for 2 weeks, and, I'm sure they don't want this either.
Okay.